Good morning. Welcome to Open Gates, where we talk about everything life.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, baby?
Well, I am wondering
What you wondering?
what you got.
Well, we were tagged in a post last night, and it just had me thinking a little bit. It took me back.
Way back.
Took me back, and it almost brings you to tears. It almost brings me to tears. I don't know if it brings you to tears, but it almost brings me to tears because a lot happened at that time.
Mama Bear, you're so beautiful.
A lot happened.
A lot.
You know, we could say like some hurtful things happen. Some really great things happen. Some really life-changing things happen. A lot of things happen.
Express it, Mama. Express it. It's wonderful. Like you. She's so beautiful.
Just being in the presence of all those people, you know. And it was the post was it was from our friends from all around the world. Well, from one of our brothers from Nicaragua, Daniel David, and he tagged all of us. They had went on a tour, what they called it, a sacred space tour, and they took some people with them, and they traveled the world, or the United States, I should say, and we were blessed to be one of the stops that were made, and I just learned so much while they were here. So much about myself,
Yeah,
you know?
Come on now. Come on.
So much about myself because everybody was opening up. Everybody was sharing what triggered them, what hurt them. I mean, everything you can imagine was being shared.
Yeah.
And I just started realizing, like, wow, I have so much hidden on the inside as everybody began to share.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like we all just really became so vulnerable. You know, you always talk about being vulnerable and transparent. And it's like we all just laid it all out, you know? We didn't care what anyone thought because we knew that we were all in love there, willing to hear whatever you had to say. No one was going to judge you, you know?
No.
There was no judgment in the room at all. And because there was no judgment, we were so free. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, there's freedom. And that's what happened there.
I think we were literally in the sacred place.
Yes.
The sacred place of within ourselves of love. Because my experience of it was understanding what I was seeing every day, what I was feeling every day, what I was experiencing every day. When she says that there was no judgment there when we were all being so free. For me, what it helped me realize is that I was the only one in judgment for myself. and that'll break you free. I'm telling you, when you were like literally sitting in different areas, different rooms, going to different places, like we were in the little house, we were outside, we were in the teepee, we were in the building. Wherever, and it's different groups. It's not the same people all the time, although it is the same people all the time. But we were, different people sharing different things at different times
of
the days. And when you see the diversity of of oneness, the diversity of love, the diversity of unity. That's amazing. That's an amazing word. But the diversity of unity, then you're like, wow. And you really, I guess, for me, it was just something that you couldn't fight. It was the epitome of love conquers all, because people were just sharing from their heart, and the realness of that is love. And the realness of that is love. When they're sharing from their heart, they're breaking out of some of the most intimate things that they always suppressed and held down. They're being triggered into some more things that they didn't even know was there. And I'm speaking about me too. And at that time, like she said, we were going through a lot of things, a lot of shifts in our life. And it gave us an opportunity to self-reflect. It gave us an opportunity to self-reflect, because there's not one thing that somebody didn't say that they weren't taking ownership of. It wasn't a, you know, and I'm only saying this to give us an opportunity to grow, guys, okay? But, you know, when you get around a bunch of people and a crowd of people, a lot of times, one way or the other, even if you're trying not to, conversation will come up and it becomes a gossip fest. It becomes, if it's not about a person, it's about an entity. If it's not about an entity, it's about social media. If it's not about social media, it's about the news. If it's not about the news, it's about what happened in the world. But it becomes a gossip fest. And everybody has a right and opinion about something. And once one person of any kind of status, or if they're looked up to, start off on it, then everybody else jumps in line and jumps on the bandwagon. This was not the case. This was an opening up that just released so many of the, like DDO said, it released so many of the different triggers and things. And I think I know for me, good morning, Donovan. You know, Donovan blessed us with his presence too. But I know for me, it opened up me to really start to understand what it means to have a trigger. What it really means to have, like, we've known, or I've known about some different hurts and stuff like that. But a word that is used now, that's thrown around a lot, is trauma. I got to experience some traumas. And I learned how to, like I said before, I learned how to self-reflect and look at it, because I was like, man, these guys, like, every single one of them, especially all the sisters, like DDO was talking about, he's like, man, the girls, when you ask them a question, they open up, is amazing. To hear the nurturing part of them just talk about some of the things that they've experienced and went through. And then as a guy, you try to be the macho part of it. You know what I mean? But it really helped me to release a feminine side of me that really was always there, that I chose to ignore. You know, and then you have guys like Donovan and Love and Hawk and those guys that just, and Billy. Man, Billy was amazing. I give him hugs, and he would just whisper something in my ear, and I was like, oh my gosh, just melt you away. But anyway, I just had to share that. It was just stirring up on me. So,
well, you know, and I was just thinking that, I mean, if we're going to be vulnerable and transparent, you know, because we are being at this moment, at that moment when when they came to us, we had just experienced.
It's like love invaded our home.
Love, yes, babe. That's so like, beautiful.
Put all of them up there.
We were shunned and pushed and thrown away, basically, from the people who said they loved us.
We thought.
Yeah, so we thought. Right. That's what it felt like at the moment.
It felt like hell.
It seemed like. Yes, it seemed like hell. It seemed like, how could you? You said you loved me. How could you throw me away like that, you know? Yeah. But it was like love came and swooped us up and said, I got you. Yeah. You know?
It was always, you know how in the cartoons they're walking upstairs and then you get to the top of the stairs and there's nothing there? Well, it's like whatever we thought was hell, or whatever we thought when we thought something was being done to us. But how many of you know that when you have those experiences, what if you just looked at it as like something is being done for you?
Yes.
That's
we see it that way.
That's an opportunity.
We didn't see it that way.
No, we didn't. I know we didn't. But you know, that's where the unconditional agape love comes in, and somebody, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Even though I would venture to say all the people, anybody that had to do anything with the sacred space store, I would venture to say all of them had some experience with what maybe we were going through at the time. Mm-hmm. But the great part about it, and it's an opportunity for everybody that hears this video, is they didn't jump in and side with what we were experiencing to talk bad about something.
No.
What they did is instead of jumping in, like Tanya said, they just opened their arms and they cradled us and they nurtured us through some things and some situations. And how did they do that? Well, they were being nurtured to themselves. They were being free themselves. And so it was, oh man, it is really hard to have words to explain it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, and it's hard not to get emotional over it because it was such, you know, you hear these words like breakthroughs and stuff like that. And I think, it could be a breakthrough, but I think it was a breaking down for me. It was a breaking down. Like, there's times when I broke down, but I'm talking about there was a breaking down of barriers.
Yes.
There was a breaking down of the walls to where I could really open up and just express that which is within me. And then really start to understand that's where I get this, man, what is really bad thing. And I know that might be a hard pill to swallow for some, but hey, it's an opportunity, guys. Because when I start looking at things like what is really bad, then it gives me an opportunity to see the good in all. And that reminds me of my understanding of God. All things work out for his good. And so therefore I don't have to sit in judgment of things, and I don't have to say the what ifs and have my excuses and opinions and everything else. It just broke down walls for me. And it wasn't so much, well, it was a lot of allowing people to talk with me and giving me a different angle for whatever I would have brought up instead of agreeing with me. So then I can go back and reflect and then really ask myself, like a lot of times, the reason why we don't agree with somebody is because we don't understand. But I had a chance to go back and really get an understanding, because even though I didn't agree with it, how it was given was love. And it was like, you can't shoo that away. You can't. You don't. You think you might want to fight and argue and debate and all this. You can't. You can't. It just melts you down. When somebody's just loving on you, just melts you down. And then 2 hours later, you're like, hold on. And I'm just going to be real with you. 2 hours later, I'd be like, was he throwing jabs at me? But that's what it'll make you feel like. If you have some insecurities and traumas in here, you'll be like, oh, was they talking about me? Was they stepping on my toes? No, they were just sharing the experience of oneness. That's what they were doing.
Donovan said, triggers are areas we never took responsibility of ourself. Reflection. Judging ourselves first.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good. And that's what it allows us to do now. Mm-hmm. That's what it allows us to do now. Anytime the energy shifts, anytime we're looking at something like for me, if I'm looking at something like I don't like that, then I need to ask myself why. Why? I need to reflect first within me, just like Donovan was talking about. I need to take responsibility for that myself. I need to be accountable to why I've even shifted in a negative energy, if that's where I've shifted to. Mm-hmm. And so it was a great opportunity, man. I read that post this morning with DDO, and I was like, wow, bro. Because last night we were talking last night, and he was like, bro, I'm sitting here going through these videos, and I'm like, huh? And he goes, yeah, all the ones that we did at y'all's property and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like I told Tanya, I was like, babe, I want to watch them now. I want to watch them now. So.
Yeah. You were like, we need some of that footage. I said, we got it.
We got it. Yeah, I wasn't even.
I was recording everything.
I was so
And I'm so thankful because, when they come up, like even on my memories, when they come up, it just, golly, the things that were said. Oh my God! Like I know that we can all learn from it, from what was being said. Even now.
Oh, even
now. You know.
Yeah, even now. So, okay. What else you got, babe? Well, you know what's amazing is you're talking about that. This is the one thing that I picked out of all the readings. Mm-hmm. Guess what it says?
What's it say? When you
Y'all want to know what it says? I'm going to read it to you. This is pretty amazing. As a matter of fact, Donovan just commented, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, must be what we want to talk about today. All right, it says this. It says, when you reject yourself, you will reject another. Wherever you accept yourself, you will breed acceptance in the hearts of others. Where we don't know ourselves, we will be suspicious of others. Suspicion and fear of the unknown go together. And when we are unknown to ourselves, that unknown part is crying for reconciliation. We end up rejecting the parts that society and religion deem unpopular because we won't face ourselves. When we come face to face with our conclusions of life, we become known. When we see purpose spring up and insecurities fall away. Use the mirrors of yourself that are posing as people to align, transmute, and shift you into awareness. When you are aligned in love and as love and observing and discerning our world of thoughts, we will take no thought for our life. We will no longer reduce who we are to the negative thoughts we were programmed to believe.
I was doing some of that yesterday.
Well, be real with us. Talk to me.
Let's be real.
Talk to me.
Let's be transparent.
Let's be vulnerable.
So yesterday, last night, we went to dinner, and we were sitting there, and I told my husband, I said, babe, I didn't work. I said, I didn't work today.
I love it.
I just want to let you know. I didn't work today. I work from home, and I just was not, I was feeling all kinds of emotion, but it was just, I just wasn't, I don't even know I couldn't even really explain it, because I was like, I don't even really know what I was feeling. I was like, I have a headache. I feel nauseous. I'm tired. I just feel weak. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to think, So I was like, I don't even want to sit at my desk because, I could sit at my desk and just do little things, and still be at work. But I didn't even want to think. I just wanted to be in a void, basically, And so I was like in that feeling and feeling that way. I was like, I started projecting onto him, and I was like, he hasn't been as loving as he usually is. And that's so not even true. Like, it's so not even true. But though, that when you're in all those chaotic emotions, you start thinking something, and then you're projecting, and but I'm like, so we get in the car, and I'm like, he yawns, and his eyes start to water. I'm like, my husband is so tired. He's so tired, and I'm over here being a whiny baby. Like, oh, he's not showing me enough love. But that was not even true. It's just that he was tired, and he wasn't even, he was just not even talking, really. You're kind of quiet. But once we went to dinner, and you guys, and he was hungry. He was hungry. He was like, babe, I'm kind of hangry.
Hangry.
He was like, babe, I'm kind of hangry.
Hangry.
And I was like, no, you don't get to be hangry, because you are love.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so once he got some food in his belly, he perked up. He started talking again.
I almost felt like when Jesus came to that fig tree, I was like, okay, you know what? You ain't gonna fig for me.
But anyway, so yeah, I was doing a little projecting yesterday on my husband.
It's a great opportunity for us, guys, if we stop. I keep going back to what Donovan was saying, but you know your triggers. You know what gets you out of alignment or out of position. I'm gonna say it like this: when you start to get emotional and have different feelings about things, so you'll feel it within inside of you. You feel like, how did R. Kelly say it? Temperature's rising.
Yeah.
So you'll know when your temperature's rising. You'll have a shift in frequency. Like, whatever verbiage that you use, guys, you understand what I'm trying to say here. So just apply it to yourself. But when you feel that energy shift, okay, when you have that emotional breakdown, when you have that trigger, whatever it is, guys, that's a great opportunity. I almost want to listen, I have some work to do, but we have these pots that we make. And in the bottom of the pots, I've started doing something different. And I put a mirror in the bottom of the pot. And so we stencil on with
Vinyl.
with vinyl on the pot. I am, and then in the bottom of it, there's a mirror. I almost want to encourage you guys. Well, I definitely want to encourage you guys to.
Thank you, Donovan.
To buy our pots, but outside of buying our pots, I want to encourage you guys that when you have these triggers, these emotional waves of whatever
feelings.
Listen,
emotions.
You always have your phone on you, right? Well, this is my baby. She's so beautiful. Pull out your phone and go straight to the camera. Switch it around to where you see yourself, and now you get a chance to self-reflect. Now you get a chance to take ownership of it. Like Donovan said, to be responsible for it. Because you got to ask yourself, why? Why am I going through this? Why do I feel like this? Right? Because I'm telling you right now, we have programmed ourselves. Okay, now I talk about a lot being programmed. But what I'm telling you now is even in the sense of taking ownership, we are programming ourselves. Okay, guys? It's no longer time to point the finger out here like this. Whatever you choose to let in and receive, okay, is what you'll choose to start to believe. And when you choose to start to believe, then you'll start creating your reality from that. Whatever it is. And so you get a chance right from the jump to take ownership and be responsible and hold yourself accountable to however it is that you're acting towards something. Why are you seeing it that way?
Yeah.
Because
and you know that's the thing, because I didn't tell my husband that I didn't work yesterday, even though he called me. We talked, and I even saw him. I went to go take him lunch, so I didn't. But I was hiding, not working.
Terrible. I called her. She's in her office.
I was hiding.
What you doing?
That was at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew you were going to call. But I was hiding, not working, because I didn't want him to say, suck it up, you're okay, breathe, like he always tells me, like, if I say, oh, my arm hurts or whatever, he'll say, breathe. And I'm like, I didn't want to hear that. Okay? I was like, I don't want to hear it.
How many of us do that? How many of us do that?
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Let me wallow. Let me just wallow.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Guys, you got to understand there's nothing wrong with that. It just gives you a chance to recognize something, to be aware of something. And that's a good thing. So you listen to what she's saying.
Yeah. But I was thinking, had I have opened up, like you said, and released earlier in the day, I could have released all that. I could have got rid of all that, because once we got to dinner and I began to tell him, and I was like, babe, I didn't go to work today. I was feeling this and this and that. And then I began to talk and I began to release. And as I was talking, I realized why I was feeling that way, And so when we got home, I was like, oh my God, babe, I know now. I know why I was feeling that way.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's all of it is important. Okay. And it all works out for the good anyway. It just, how long do you want to go through it?
Right.
Whatever you think you're going through. Mm-hmm. Notice I say whatever you think you're going through. Because it's a great possibility that it starts right there. Just a little nugget for you. But how long do you want to experience it? You have the opportunity to make a choice to change everything. Everything. You are the creator of your own reality. Okay? And it's just, guys, we're just sharing our hearts because it really, there is such a freedom in taking ownership of everything about you. There is a freedom in that, like a freedom it's hard to explain it. Just be responsible for you. Hold yourself accountable. I have in my book that I wrote like 5 years ago when I was going through my notes. And 5 years ago, I put on here real big, and I think I highlighted, I said, you are your own best accountability partner. Mm-hmm. And you are. You are. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have accountability partners and people around you. But what I'm saying is, do they walk out your life?
Right. Are you really being honest and transparent with them?
Yeah, you got to think about that, guys. Because a lot of times what we do is if I'm not careful, I love her so much. You know what I mean? And then when I'm expected to be an accountability partner to her, I might do it holding back because I want nothing but good intentions for her. Well, that's not being a true accountability partner. Because I want to be careful not to hurt her feelings, or I want to walk on eggshells because I don't know what she's going to think if I say this, being her spouse. That's not a real accountability partner, guys. Right. And that's why, and on top of that, I know her, but I don't know her. But I know her, if that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? Because here's the deal. You know you.
Right.
You know you. So you know what you hide from people. You know what you say to people. You know what you hide from yourself. Mm-hmm. And you know what you say to yourself. So you are your own best accountability partner. And when you do that mirror reflection, it really gives you a chance to take ownership of everything. It'll break down the barriers and the walls of excuses. It'll expose the traumas, the hurts, the feelings of emotion that you run through on a daily basis. And when it does that, what does that mean? Well, it means one word: opportunity. And that opportunity gives you a chance to live life changed.
Free.
Yes. But, and listen, am I saying it's easy? Am I saying it's not a process? I'm not saying that. But let me ask you a question. How easy is it to keep battling the same things? Mm-hmm. How easy is it to keep going through the same roller coaster of emotions? Like a lot of people, in one way, shape, or form, they might deal with depression and might not think it's depression.
Right.
They might deal with a form of, like when I say depression, like when you look at yourself, how worthy do you feel? How worthy do you say you are? And are you being real with yourself when you say? Because if you feel unworthy, then that's the first step. Look in the mirror and say, man, I just feel unworthy. And then after that, say, I'm sorry. I love you. Mm-hmm. And that'll start to expose some things of why you feel unworthy about yourself. And now you can start to work on those areas and seeing it how God sees you. Not how you've been told or whatever experiences that you've been through. Those experiences are there for a reason. Those triggers are there for a reason. And it's for you to reflect back within you. It's not for you to point fingers and use everything else as an excuse. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow, but just go get more bottles of water. And it'll go down. And eventually it'll go down so easy that next thing you know, it just becomes a part of you. And you're like, oh, I recognize that. Boom, that's not me, but thank you for allowing me to recognize that. And when you recognize that, that's your opportunity for growth. And then you just keep growing.
Thank you for helping me remember who I am.
Yes. Carrie Husband speaks on this. I mean, other people do too, but it reminds me of Carrie Husband when she talks about doing shadow work. And then our daughter, Bianca, she talks about that too. She's like, hey, have you guys ever heard about shadow work and stuff like this? Well, look into that, guys. Look in to get an understanding of what doing shadow work is, what it means. Because, man, listen, you are nothing less than amazing.
Amen.
I don't care how I don't care how you think people see you. And really, notice I'm saying the word think here. If it's not life and abundance and freedom and all the fruit of the Spirit, I don't care how you think you see yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? And when I say I don't care, it's because I don't care about the lack part of it. I embrace all of it, and it allows me to see you as worthy. Right? And so, I guess now that I'm reflecting on that, probably I don't care is not a good phrase.
Right.
I think we care about everything, and I think you should too. I think, matter of fact, thank you, Holy Spirit. Care about it all, and then ask yourself, what life lived you want? What life lived that you want?
Ask yourself, is it bringing life?
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, baby, that's a good one.
So if it's not bringing life, then allow it to show you where you need to give life to.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So, just a couple of things this morning, guys, that we wanted to share with you. If you don't know who DDO is, well, you probably don't know about that, but
Daniel David Ostapinsky.
Yeah. And any of the other people that get on here, guys, befriend them. Alice, thank you for sharing your morning with us this morning, sis. But look up some of the people in our timelines, guys, that we're always talking about, we're communicating with. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a chance to see an expression of you. I said earlier on in the video, it was an amazing time of diversity and unity. And that's who we all are in our own little unique diverse way, we are still unified as one. We just get a chance to see a reflection of us outside of ourselves.
Through others.
Yeah, through others. That sometimes either we hinder, suppress, or maybe we just never come across before. So a lot of times we just never had these experiences before. Mm-hmm. And when we look at somebody else, we get a chance to experience us through somebody else. You know? So God is amazing. God is in all, as all, through all, for all. And so when you get that revelation right there, you'll start to see the bigger picture a little different. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing way to see the bigger picture, because now you can change your world. You know, not the world outside of you, but this world. You can change this world. And when you change this world, the byproduct of that is the world outside of you starts to change.
That's it.
That's it right there, man.
That's
the renewing of your mind. That's the transformation of life. Mm-hmm. That's life in abundance. There's no lack. It's called freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Yes. So, well, I think that's all we got. If you just chimed on, then go back to the beginning of the video. I did a reading. It's a short reading. But again, if you guys want a copy of it, just reach out to us. We can send you a copy of it. It's amazing. So, what else you got, baby? We doing something Friday?
Well, tomorrow is Glory Gatherings at 5 p.m. every Thursday.
Right.
So if you are in the Wichita Falls area, we want to invite you over. Just reach out to us for the address. Everyone is welcome. And then I believe on Friday we are going to be doing our live in the Quantum Creatives Academy group.
Yeah. So what? And I don't know.
We'll share it on our page, but it'll start from
two phones,
there.
or we're just going to set it up on one phone.
We can do both. Whatever you want to do, baby.
Okay. Well, when you talk to DDO, then figure that out. But if you guys don't know about the Quantum Kingdoms Academy, please go look it up. Man, it's an amazing blessing. It's an amazing blessing, and we want to invite you guys into that academy. There's so much to glean from that academy. People all over the world.
Yes.
And so, you know, it is about unity here. It is about love, and it is just about growth. It's about growth. It's an opportunity for you to see how amazing you are. And what better way to do that than seeing it through the lens of everybody.
If you have a business, you want to be or you're an entrepreneur, or you need ideas, you need help, this is where you want to be.
Right.
If you're an artist, if you're a musician, anything, any of those things, anything.
What's your heart's desire?
Yeah.
Then
come
you'll
into this academy, get into that group, and just listen to what everyone is giving out. They're giving free information.
It's how do I want to say this? It is a love opportunity of networking.
Yes.
That's, if I could say it, I probably could come up with something better, but that's just spur on the spot. It's a love opportunity of networking. Have you ever been in a position, we call it maybe the middleman, but if you've ever been in a position to network and link people up with other people, and somewhere down the line somebody goes, oh, really? Well, I know somebody that's interested in that too, and they've been doing this, and they've been building this, and they've had this business, and they've had this artwork, and they've done this music. Well, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quantum Kingdoms...
Creatives Academy.
Yeah, Creatives Academy. Say it one more time.
Quantum Kingdom Creatives Academy.
Yeah, look into that, guys. So, we love you. We think, oh, here, check this out. Have you looked in the mirror lately and smiled? That's a beautiful sight to see. Go look in there right now. As soon as you get off this live video, go look in the mirror and smile. You see that brightness? That brightness is the light that you are. And you are amazing. You are so amazing. Look, it makes me smile.
That brightness is the light that the world is longing for.
Yeah. So carry that smile. Carry your light with you everywhere. Everywhere. Well, you can't help but to, because you are the light. Amen?
Amen.
So recognize that today as you go about your day. We love you guys.
Have an amazing, blessed Wednesday.